Cooking from memory is not everyone's forte. Chef Neeraj Rawut reconstructs food tasted in unfamiliar terrains and uncharted road trips. He brings to you a taste of Coorg and the hospitality of his host through a pork stew, also known as Pandi curry, and serves it with appams for an exclusive Coorgi experience.
While I was posted in Bangalore, we made a lot of trips. One of this road trip was to hill station called Coorg. It has got a lot of coffee plantation. It was a 31st night. We had bonfire, a lot of wine and a lot of Coorgi food. But this one dish which still lingers in my mind is the Pandi curry. Amazing dish. This was one dish which was so fabulous. So robust, intense flavor in that when I came back, I did try it at my place and it did turn out very good. The three key features of this dish is pork itself, which has to have a lot of fat into it. Secondly is the Pandi masala, which I'm going to show you how to make it. And the third thing is the kachampuli vinegar. So let's hop into our kitchen and see how the Pandi curry is made with some rice hoppers. Before going to the appams, let me show you how to make this Pandi curry. Make sure for this particular dish, you have to take pork which has got good fat content into your meat. First step of Pandi curry is to marinate the pork. I'm just going to add some turmeric, red chili powder, and some salt. That depends on your taste, but you just smear it well so that it gets evenly coated. And till the time you make the other nizapla, your pork is well marinated. This was the first step of this dish, and I'm going to keep it aside for it to rest. Well, going to the next step of this dish, wherein I'm going to make the green paste. Now, the green paste has ginger, garlic, green chilies, coriander, and onion. So for this, a kg of pork, I'm going to slice 2 or 3 onions, which will go into the making of the green paste. And I reserve 1 onion, which will go into the curry. Put these onions in a bowl. Put some green chilies, some garlic. Make sure you have 60-40%. So I'm going to put some ginger, which is lesser than the garlic. Just slice it. And a bunch of coriander. Grind it over there with little water and make a smooth paste of it. A little bit of water. So the green paste is ready. Now the third step is the most critical step of this Pandi curry, which is making the dry roasting of the masalas. So I'm going to heat pan. Take the coriander seeds, 2 tablespoons, and I'm going to roast it gently. Now, make sure that you don't put any other spice into it right now. Make sure that your flame is not too high or not too low, because you don't want to burn the coriander. And I think this is the stage when you put in the rest of the ingredients, except few. Cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon, some methi. Now this is few seeds, 1 tablespoon of mustard seeds, a tablespoon of black peppercorns, cinnamon. Make sure that don't overpower the dish. So we put a little bit, maybe an inch of it. Green cardamom, 3 pods, I think good enough. Cloves, again 4 to 5 pieces. And then again I keep on roasting. This stage I don't put the chilies and the rice. Let the masala get roasted and turn even more brown. At this stage, I'm going to add chilies, 2 of them, and some raw rice, a tablespoon. Now, many of you must be wondering why a rice in the spice mix. Now, that is because the rice, when I'm going to grind it and I'm going to use it in the gravy, it will give thickening to the curry. Now, how do I know this masala is ready? Is when your rice turns opaque and white. So rice is almost opaque. The rice is turning brown, and I think it's almost there. And this is how your Pandi masala looks like. So switch off the gas and leave it aside and let it cool. The masala is roasted and it's cool now. So I'm going to just grind it in the grinder. You don't need to add any water into it. And that's the Pandi masala, which is nice, smooth, grounded spice. Our three preparations are ready. The marinated pork, the green curry paste, and your Pandi masala. Now let's start cooking the pork. Let it heat. I'm going to add some oil into it. Now, since I had told you the pork pieces has a lot of fat content, make sure that you don't put too much of oil into it. And then I'm going to add the pork into it. So the oil is nice and smoky, and that's where I'm going to leave the pork pieces into the pressure pan. And I put all the pork pieces into it. Just stir it a little bit. So if you remember, I had preserved some onion, and I'm going to use them at this stage. Here I'm going to slice it nicely. So slice 1 or 2 onions depending on the size, and throw them into the pork. So not much of roasting. A minute or 2 would be good enough on a high flame. So at this stage, I'm going to just add the paste into it. So now at this stage, I'm going to add a little bit of water, very little, so that I can pressure cook it. Mix it well. Since I've added the masalas, which there's no salt into it, I'm just going to replenish some salt. The pork already has salt. So a teaspoon of it, and there it goes for a pressure cook for 1 whistle. And after that 1 whistle, wait for another 12 minutes and your pork would be ready. While the pork is being cooked, let me show you how to make the appam. Now, appam is an overnight process, but I'm briefly going to explain you how to do it. So I've taken a rice, which is sela or basmati rice, anything you can take it. I have taken 2 cups of rice, soak it, and then grind it to a smooth paste. Now this, after grinding, use minimum water, and this is how it looks like. To which, suppose the rice is 2 cups, I'm going to add 1 cup of coconut milk into it. So this is 1 cup, which I'm going to mix into this. And then comes the fermentation part. And for that, I'm going to use some yeast. So a little bit of yeast, half teaspoon, some salt, and some sugar for the yeast to react. Little water into it. Make sure the yeast completely gets dissolved. Take the batter in which you have put the coconut milk, and to which I'm going to add this yeast. Mix it well and keep it at a warm place for fermentation. So I'm going to show you how the batter looks after fermentation. So I have already a fermented batter, and that's the batter of the appam. I think the pork is cooked now, and this is time I'm going to switch off the gas. And keep it aside, let the steam settle down. While the steam is settling down, let me tell you something about this kachampuli vinegar, which is an integral part of this dish. So the vinegar, it's very dark color, very tartiness is there and sour. So it imparts a sour flavor to it. You need a little kind of a few drizzle of it into the dish. Wow. Yeah, it's nice and tender. It's falling apart. It still has a lot of curry into it. And I'm going to add the rest of the spices and reduce it further. So at this stage, I'm going to add the Pandi masala, which we had roasted, grinded and kept in the jar. 2 to 3 teaspoons. Wow. Nice and dark. And then comes the very important ingredient, as I told you, the kachampuli vinegar. Few drops. 1 teaspoon can ruin the entire gravy. So it just goes as in few drops, very little, as you see. That's it. Let the curry simmer, settle down, and become a kind of a semi-dry preparation. If you like it gravy, it's up to you. Leave it the way it is. So now this gravy is ready. However, I would always suggest to have it the second day or the third day, because it's almost like a pickle, and you store it in your refrigerator and reheat and try it the second day. It tastes outstanding because by then the meat has seeped with all the spices. While the pork curry is resting, we will do the appams now. So switch on the gas and put this up on the pan. If you have to make a softer appams, add a little bit of poha into it, or what do you call it, flattened rice, and 2 cups of rice, 1 cup of poha, that would be the ratio, and 1 cup of coconut milk. So that's how it goes. 2 spoons, and swirl it around till it evenly coats the entire frame of the pan, and put the lid on top of it. Let it cook for say 10 seconds, and then I'm going to remove the lid off. Let the moisture evaporate. Some people like it nice, moist, soft appams. In that case, keep it closed till it is cooked. But in case you want a little crispy one, just let it be open, and then the extra moisture evaporates. Now to handle the appam, you need a stick, any kind of simple stick which helps you to dig in like this. So go all around, and I think your appam is nice fluffy appams are ready. Well, now we are done with the pandi curry and the appams. It's time to serve it. Wow, it looks yum. The more you age this dish, the more you keep it longer, a day or two, it becomes more darker, intense and flavorful. Never mind, it's pretty good now as well. So I'm going to just plate it a little bit. A little gravy here and there. Good enough. Fresh coriander. Yes. There you go. The pandi curry is ready. And then we serve the appam.